on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Jensen. Presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Also brought to you by 988. There is hope with the 988 Lifeline. Call or text 988 for free, 24/7. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda, to see how Honda crushes the competition, see your local Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Oak Knoll, an active life care community powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Here is your host, Rob Brooks.
And it's a big week. The Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series will resume on Wednesday night as the 8-1 Iowa Hawkeyes get set to face Iowa State, and it'll be great to be back in Carver Hawkeye Arena. The second of 3 in-state games, of course. Hawkeyes took care of Drake back in November. We'll take on the UNI Panthers on the 20th of December, but certainly the focus on the Cyclones this week. It's a top 25 matchup, and we welcome you to Hawk Talk with head coach Jensen, and we are at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Coralville, and we've talked about, Coach, December schedule's going to ramp up. We saw that on Saturday night, Iowa State on Wednesday, and then conference play starts on Sunday at noon against Michigan State. So here we go. November over, December basketball.
Absolutely, and that's one thing, I was so pleased with our November, and we've done such a great job, and I knew when we were going to go play Tennessee that was going to be a heck of a challenge, and unfortunately in the one category that I was very concerned about, that was the one category that I was rightfully to be concerned about. We just we weren't prepared for that full court pressure. I thought we were, but I could not. Obviously, I didn't do a good enough job getting us prepared for the flurry that we were going to see. We'd handled it pretty well when we had practice against our male practice squad, but we just, nothing can prepare you for that live action, the big stage. When we walked in, Ava Hayden, when we shot around that day, she came in and she said, are you going to quote the Hoosiers movie for us? That the court's still the same size, and it really gave me pause. And I was thinking this great, young, amazing, one of the best posts in the country, freshman, was still walking in awe of that big arena. And so, I know I learned where we could have done a little bit better, obviously. But once we got through that first 2 to 3 minutes, the full court didn't hurt us until the very end, the last 3 minutes. But it was the residual effect, I call it. We would get it over, but it'd be duress, right? We were getting it over, and there'd be about 18 seconds left on the shot clock. But then we didn't have the poise to get a ball reversal and to take advantage of some of the action. We'd sail a pass, or we would, kind of dribble it off our foot because of that tension. But with that being said, the positives, what I told the team, we rebounded extremely well. We're the only team that out-rebounded Tennessee by double digits, and they only got 2 more offensive rebounds than we did. So our fight was always great. Our defense, we did a pretty good job in the quarter court. Once we got there and held, it's just hard when you give up so many points because you turn it over and they're able to get, a layup. So there were more positives than negatives, although the negatives were so glaring that, for, just the general eye, it was hard to get over.
You make a really good point, though, and the start was rough as far as the turnover is concerned, but then seemed to really kind of calm down, right the ship, actually led 22-18 after one quarter, and then kind of said, okay, now we've settled in, and then, but that's what pressure defense does to you,
It
right?
does.
And that length.
All the good credit to them. I do feel, though, we didn't show as good of a basketball team as we are and can be. And I really feel that way at basketball team-wise. I think we do a lot of the things better team-wise. We shoot a little bit better in many positions, but they were certainly better that night because they had put everything together, and that press just got us. But I really think, though, I like the resolve after the game. There was more frustration and disappointment, and they can wait to get back on the court to feel better about it. So there was a lot of growth that happened, just like there was a lot of growth that has happened in the first 8 games. It's just more fun to grow with a win,
Always. And you talk about those positives, and we talked about it throughout the broadcast. The rebounding seemed to be consistent all the way through. Great boxing out and staying with it because that can get away from you in a hurry. They were 12.5 rebounding margin for the entire year and huge on the offensive glass, and you out-rebound them 48-33. And then do a great job at the free throw line as well. 19 of 23 got there a lot and knocked them down.
Yeah, I mean, we did everything pretty solidly. It's just the poise part, and that was a point that I was talking about all during the week. And when I think back on it, for the last 4 years, we were a lot, in some ways, most of the time, unpressable, because you had a generational talent in Caitlin that was able to weave and spot and throw passes that usually you can't throw against a press. So everybody on that team, even Hannah and Sid and Kylie, all the upperclassmen, we just really had never faced it. So me then trying to put it in, I learned the different areas, and I saw a couple things in film that, doggone it, I should have caught. And did emphasize a little bit more of a different slicing action. But, that's just, I got a lot better Saturday night, and I told the kids that. And I think, we're going to have to use that press breaker. We won't see what Tennessee did, because not only did they physically put that pressure on you. It's a mental pressure, that they do, but then they have that platoon system. So you're constantly out of your comfort zone. It's a style that is chaos, It causes chaos. So you're never comfortable. So the fatigue that sets in, your kids are constantly thinking of like a matchup. Every 2 minutes, it's a different matchup. Sometimes Hannah's on a center, sometimes she's on a guard, depending on who came in. Sometimes I'm on a shooter, now I'm on a driver. And so it can really wear you down. And it was just hard to replicate. And, I couldn't quite do it well enough. But I do know that I love the fight, and I do think that we really grew through it. I just, I feel badly, and, I just don't think we put our best foot forward, and I, feel, disappointed in that, for fans and for certainly our team. But, I've always said there's a lot of runway left, and I knew the competition was going to ratchet up, and, it continues to get, harder and harder as we go.
And that's one thing, too, about pressure defense against anybody, is that once you exert that energy to get the ball across the timeline, try to get into your offense, and then you're worrying about the shot clock as well, and it can be it can wear you down.
Yeah,
fatigue can set in too.
And I think veteran teams, you can handle that a little bit more. We're certainly not veteran yet. We're going to get there, and we have a lot of youth. And so sometimes you get into that battle, and we have some really great guards. But what you don't always see is the practices leading up to it, and you're kind of going with that experience of who look pretty good at breaking it against the guys, And you have to keep in mind, the experience level, and the game was never really crazy out, There's not a place where like, whoa, you got to blow up the whole plan, and you got to sub you still like they do, full sail and put in a new 5. So there's it was always that teetering, but I do think the fatigue in hindsight, they were probably a little bit tired handling that.
And to your point, you had a 7-point lead in the second quarter at about the 9:34 mark, and then their biggest lead obviously was right there at the end. That was a one-possession game with 2 minutes to go, and still led for 19 minutes and 6 seconds, more than Tennessee. 16 lead changes. The game was tied 10 times, so it was a competitive game for 38 minutes.
It was. And that was the craziest thing. Because if you look at the box score and we had that many turnovers, you would have never thought that.
Should be a 20-point game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I just kept feeling so thankful every time we'd have the media timeout. And I was like, holy cow. We just needed in that, when we had that in the third quarter, we got, I think it was either a 3 or 4 point lead. And we had a messed up defensive assignment, and they came down. I felt like it was kind of swinging, and we came down and let the wrong kid have a wide open 3. And it went from 4 to 1 point, and we turned it over, and they got a 2-pointer. They went up, and I think we might even fouled. So it was a big swing at just that wrong time, and that I think was the big difference. It was either at the end of the third or the beginning of the fourth, but the fact that we coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? Even at the 151 mark, I think that's when they had the ball and we were down 1. But then she hit the 3 and then we didn't convert. I think Lucy dribbled off her foot or something. So then when you foul, it gets to be double digits. So, but yeah, it was crazy. But that's what's cool about sports. Like when you look at any box score, like sometimes if you just look at it, you just think it tells the story. But sometimes it's the complete opposite of what really happened. And I love it. I love sport for that.
That is a great point. And speaking of Lucy Olson, 23 points, her high this year, played 32 minutes and 44 seconds, 7 of 14 from the floor, 9 of 9 perfect at the free throw line. Just great to have her back on the floor, being able to play that amount of time after missing the last 2 games.
Yeah, and
practice.
And that was weird. So she wasn't really practicing as much, and so then you're trying to get used to the press breaker without having her. And then when she does, it's limited minutes, and so for her to come in and really, for the most part, really handle that, and what she did against, even Nova never faced that type of pressure. But their break was a lot different than what our break is. So, you're battling constant habits and like, oh, wait, trying to remember what I'm supposed to be doing. So for her to handle that and have the game that she did I was really pleased. And I thought, again, Addie O'Grady, she was a rock, and we needed to get the ball to her more. But I wanted to get it from the top and in, and we were constantly trying to remind our players, don't throw it from the wings, because that help side was so good. But again, what happens with the pressure, you're ratcheting it up in your body, and we just had too many turnovers forcing it from the wing. When we throw it from the top and in, Addie had a lot of success. So again, I think we can really learn from that and grow.
17 points and 11 rebounds, her second double-double of the season already. And you kind of go back to the passing, too. You're right, that high-low pass was there. And then the lane-to-lane pass, left to right, right to left, when that defense came out.
Yep.
And then you're able to drop it down. Would have been a good shot, turned into a great shot.
It really did. And that's we started to really work that better in that fourth quarter. But it just took a little bit too long to get to that action. But again, credit Tennessee. They did everything they needed to do to put us into rest, and it just we just didn't quite do it when we needed to consistently enough.
And of course, I thought that Ava Hayden came in, gave you some really good minutes, and those freshmen continue to grow. Guyton hit a big-time three-pointer, so that's just going to help down the line.
It is, and I think they got some minutes, and I still have to manage Aaliyah's load a little bit. She played a lot in Cancun, but the knee needs a little bit more rest sometimes, and I think we're ready to go full throttle. So I was pleased, though, that she got some good experience.
And then, Taylor Stremlow came in, and obviously we talked about her in Cancun. Just wherever you need her, she's willing to go, and that's not an easy situation to be in as a freshman, but she's going to continue to grow in different roles as well.
Yeah, she is. I mean, I love that kid, and you'll see more and more minutes. I know people are like, wondering did they get minutes, and so forth, but. I think you'll see them as we go, bringing them along. And Taylor, she can play the 1 through 3 positions. And if we had to, that kid's got tough as nails. She'd play the 5.
Right. And who knows? Hopefully it won't have to happen. But she's there. And it just seems like as you go through November and then also on Saturday, when you look at the freshmen, look at the young players, they've all had just eye-popping moments, which is exciting here as we move into the rest of the month.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that's what is fun, is you never know who's going to be that, that special kid. I'm liking what I'm seeing, the consistency with Lucy and Addie. But it'll be nice as we continue to grow here. I think you could see a lot of different players like we have in this relatively young season. It's been kind of a different one that shined, and I think that's what's really, really fun about this team.
And Hannah saw a bunch of tough defenders on her consistently, even though she still ended up with 5 assists and 10 rebounds. But she was doubled a lot, contested shots, and then they obviously knew Taylor McCabe can shoot the 3 as well.
Absolutely. And that's the one
Just
thing.
no room out there, right?
It isn't. I mean, if you've got a very defensive-minded team and, if everything else is going a little bit tougher sledding for you, it was, you can really focus on Taylor, and we just couldn't get her really, really clean looks. And I think Hannah's, offensive production wasn't that high, but I think that again is what I've been most concerned about with her missing the off season. She just never got reps. And I think, you can say it and, people are like, oh, really? But, Hannah's Hannah. And she is. And that's how great she's been. But I think what we saw when she went against some pretty stiff competition, missing, May, June, July, and August. She couldn't do anything rep-wise. She couldn't go up against tough bodies and be physical, right? We just started that in September. So that was, I think, to me, that was the first time that, some of those that she just power up, she was going against a little bit of her equal, right? Yeah. So now I think we have a clearer plan, when we're working all the overtime minutes now, because they all shoot extra, is now she has a little bit more motivation of like, oh yeah, that's why I got to go against those pads a little harder, right? I got to make up a little extra time because I didn't get that extra work that most everybody in the country got. And so that was the first time all year that maybe my concerns of, her missing that much, because she's playing a different position. She's playing the 4, so now she's facing and has to drive, and then she goes in, and then she's got to make these different decisions. So I think that was also a good thing, because now, we know you got to keep working on some of those areas you didn't get quite as many reps on due to, cleaning up her knee.
Isn't this what the non-conference portion of the schedule is all about, though? Playing these different styles.
Yep, absolutely. That's what makes it fun.
Instead of beating everybody by 40 points, you go out and play really good teams, top 25 teams, different styles, and that's how you get better. That's how you learn. Yeah,
and I think that's what's so fun. I mean, that's what I told the players when we played in that event. I mean, that was one of the most prestigious events that anybody could get invited to. It was Fox Sports. It was played on a pro arena. And it was, we got to play where the Hornets play in November. Now we get to play where the Brooklyn Nets and
Liberty,
world champion New York Liberty play. It's just a really amazing, environment. And so there were so many more positive things. And, I have a pretty good perspective, and I'm disappointed. And there's so many things I wish I would have done better during the game before and so forth. But what's so wonderful about this team is they grow and they learn, and this young team is getting all this type of experience on the biggest of stages. And, we were right there and not playing our best game. And so you can look at the glass half full or half empty, and that's what, I've always believed, and so has Lisa, and that type of schedule is, you have a few games that you can experiment and get everybody in the roster, but it's much more fun to play games where you're really going to be tested. And when you win them, boy, it feels like, man, you did something. So for us to have played Kansas and Va-Tech and Drake on their home court and Tennessee, I mean, these are really great games that you hope now we're going to build on when we get to that Big Ten season, which starts on Sunday, right? Because that's as much as all this other stuff is fun, at the end of the day is the conference race is the thing we're all striving for.
Have you ever been on a bus elevator before?
Oh my gosh, isn't that cool? I took a video of it to show my kids and anybody who's interested.
Yeah, so we pull in to the arena at street level. And the bus, you're inside the arena, and then it's just like a regular elevator, takes you all the way down to the floor level.
It's pretty cool. It was really cool. Yeah.
I was happy when that door opened, though. Wouldn't want to be stuck there for sure. Well, Well, we certainly invite your comments with Coach Jensen here tonight on Twitter. It is at Iowa_Learfield or hashtag Hawk Talk. Facebook.com/HSP Learfield. You can also use the U.S. Cellular text line at 319-853-8344, 319-853-8344, or you can also email your question, hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. And it's presented by Oak Knoll, as its mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is conveniently located near the University of Iowa Healthcare Campus, Kinnick, Carver Hawkeye Arena, and, of course, downtown Iowa City. A longtime proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Visit oaknoll.com to learn more. And also, as it's going to continue on Wednesday throughout the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hardworking values that are uniquely Iowan. Thank you to Iowa's corn farmers who lead the nation in corn and ethanol production, feeding and fueling us all. Go to iowacorn.org to learn more about how corn grows Iowa. This is Hawk Talk from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. We are inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk presented by Oak Knoll from Learfield.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
People are having a hard time containing their excitement about the new Holiday Scratch and Instaplay tickets from the Iowa Lottery.
Holiday tickets? I love these!
Especially when they find out you can win part of over $1 million in second chance cash prizes when you enter any holiday ticket in the Iowa Lottery's VIP Club.
$1 million? Woohoo!
Yes, woohoo indeed. Cash prizes are coming to town from the Iowa Lottery.
Woohoo!
See rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
I'm Nick Jackson. I play linebacker here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, I drop in coverage.
Third down 11. Straight back to pass is Sullivan. He's running for his life. Down he goes. That's a loss of another 6. Nick Jackson.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
And welcome back to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Monday night Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen. We'll be back right here next Monday as well on the 16th and then also on the 23rd. So we will finish out the rest of the month of December on Monday nights. Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen from 6 until 7. Of course, Iowa and Iowa State inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. 8 o'clock tip will be on the air at 7:30. Hey, I'm excited to be back at Carver. Seems like it's been months.
I know. It does seem like it's been a while. I'm very excited to be in the friendly confines of Carver as well. And I can't wait to have all of our, Hawkeye friends with us as well.
Yes, we need them for sure. Let's go to Facebook. Bob has a question. Coach Jensen, what would you say biggest changes and challenges of women's basketball today from when you were a star at Drake? There's been a few changes along the way, huh? Mainly in the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, one thing, I'm going to go way back, kind of a cool story. First off, Bob, thank you for your question. But way back when I was in high school, my grandmother, she was inducted into the Iowa High School Girls Hall of Fame. And so when our team was doing pretty well, they did a news crew came out and did an interview, and the Girls Athletic Union was doing a documentary. So they interviewed her and myself, or she and myself, and they asked her about a similar question. And she said her answers were, well, I tell you one thing. They show way too much skin compared to when I played. So she was thinking our uniforms back then were a little too skimpy, right, because she played in bloomers. And she also thought it was a lot more physical. So I would say that when I look back from those days to now, uniforms will morph, right? Sometimes they're big and baggy. Sometimes the shorts are shorter. We're kind of in a shorter era now, normal shorts, if you will. But Abby Stamp, who plays on our coaches on our team, the players were cracking up because there was a picture of her playing, and the uniforms were like, she is now 15 years out, long, and so the uniforms will ebb and flow. But I think the changes are more eyes, right? More people care. I think the game has, continued to, get better and better over time. I think shooters are shooters, though. I think if you, just like the big argument, is Michael Jordan better or is LeBron James better? Is Lisa Leslie was one of the early greats in our game. Is she the best center comparatively to so-and-so? But if you can shoot and you can play, that's always been the same. I think the game's faster. It's definitely more physical. I think overall the game has evolved to be, better, right? But I think the biggest changes were just the fact, and I think even this last 2 years, just the change and the needle that's been moved. And I think Lisa Bluter and company and Caitlin certainly had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, nutrition and strength and conditioning seem to be two things in athletics that really now are at the forefront.
And we just didn't know back then. I mean, back in the day, no one really knew the science behind it. They didn't want you to do it. Yeah, no one, Well, way back, I think, women they didn't want women to be in PE because they were unsure we should sweat, right? So the evolution of all of that has been, really, really good.
Let's see. Let's go to Jerry in Marion. That's a good question here. Describe your practice schedule and practice style, maybe compared to Coach Bluter.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is going to be similar if you walked into our practice, right? I think everybody was really curious about that. That was a big question when I first got hired. They so often the reporters would be like, it's so cool you're taking over, da-da-da-da. What are you going to do differently? What are you going to do differently? And, the taking over, there was so much, the framework was so good. I wasn't going to, throw it all out just to be so different because, now I was in charge. So I think it's a lot of similar, our practice plan. We usually start with a little bit of a meeting and how I kind of created, I do like some full court work first. Focus on our break, and then some really a rebounding focus, and then defense. It'll be, break it down. It'll be small groups, whether it's post and wings and guards, and then we'll have by that time it's about an hour in, quick drink, and then we shift it to offense. And now when you're starting to play opponents, most of the drills that we do, I'll make it a breakdown drill, but I'll have an Iowa State action or a Michigan State action within it. So they're doing fundamental drill, but it's going to be also mimicking an action, even though it's not exactly the play Iowa State will be running because it's a breakdown. And then we end with a little, some half-court live against our male practice players, and then we'll go up and down. But I don't go up and down now more than I do it more controlled. I do maybe let's call it a cycle, up and down, whistle, stops, a new group. Because now we're in good enough shape. Now I'm limiting minutes and load.
Also, too, you look at it's hard to focus on a lot of drills and skill sets right now when you've got Wednesday, Sunday, and that's the way it's going to be here for the next couple of weeks.
And that's the one thing you try to explain to your team. You got all of the summer months you were kind of improving and working on drills, and you're trying to get everybody used to the system. And then you get into the fall, you're getting in shape, and now the individual work that you've done, small groups, now you're getting it more into the team concept. But that's all a lot of times their audition. Now it's harder. You get now, and this is always the most difficult time for any coach because the roles kind of settle, right? And sometimes kids, it's hard for them because they want a few more minutes and they want to be deeper into the rotation. But all that time is when, I collect a lot of data. I get you just track turnovers, you track rebounds, I track shot charts, I track everything that goes into who's the most efficient. And so now when you get in, there's not as much time to gamble, if it's a tight game and you're going to just, put in different players at different times. There is kind of a reason why. It's just so easy to watch sometimes and be like, well, I would play that person. I play that person. But you don't get the whole glimpse of what's happened since May, and you don't really get what happens in that practices leading up to it. And when you get in, and there's some moments that are like amazing, and then a lot of times public opinion will want that kid to start and play 50 minutes the next day, and sometimes that consistency will tip the scales. But that is what's unique about a season. Once you get into it, like, we can't get better on ourselves very much right now. I'm trying to do some of the things I didn't like, a few minutes of it. But if I don't want to practice over a couple hours, I've got to give a lot of time to now getting used to a totally different Iowa State team. They are not anything near Tennessee, but they're better in a lot of ways with what they present, their efficiency, the way they can score. So it's always a challenge of how you get better, but how do you prepare for your next opponent?
And Phil wants to know if you've had a chance to talk to Kate since the WNBA expansion draft.
Yeah, I have. We texted just because it was late at night. But, she's fired up, and I think, she's just so excited. I mean, I'm with her. I think it's really fun. I think anytime you can be part of something brand new, building it from the ground up, and I think that's going to be awesome for her. I think the area she's going to is fun. My son's really excited because, they're the counter of Steph Curry, his favorite player, and Golden State Warriors. So I'm just thrilled for her, and I think it's an excellent choice for that new program. And I just know that team, regardless of what Kate does in the box score, they're going to be better because Kate Martin's on that roster.
She's been in two great places, absolutely for sure on that. The Iowa Hawkeyes are headed to the Music City Bowl in Nashville for the second time, and you can find official bowl information, including air travel, motor coach, and land-only packages at HawkeyeSports.com/Bowl Central. Presented by Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited, Iowa's official bowl tour. Also, we are sponsored by U.S. Sailor, proud supporter of the Hawkeyes. U.S. Sailor wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling a little bit later on. U.S. Sailor is built for us, and we'll be back with more Hawk Talk from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. We're inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, presented by Oakdale from Learfield.
Hey, Hawkeyes, while your hard-working class are on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. You'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing US Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to US Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you get an HMO network that includes over 32,000 providers. Plus, you get support from a company that's been serving Iowans for 85 years. Now, those are some impressive numbers, and that's health coverage you can feel confident in. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
Well, of course, we all know what's at stake this week. It's Cy-Hawk Series, and Iowa State getting ready to square off in women's and men's basketball. And we want to thank the Iowa Corn Promotion Board and Iowa Corn for their continued support and sponsorship of the great state rivalry. And Ralph Lentz is the president of the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Ralph has farmed for 45 years just outside Greenfield in Adair County, producing corn, beans, and beef cattle with his brother and also a nephew. In a visit with the Hawkeye Radio Network's Gary Dolphin, Lentz praised Iowa's corn farmers for their supervision of the land while producing food, fuel, and conservation practices. Lentz, in particular, praised corn-based ethanol. It's cleaner, cheaper, and homegrown.
We got a lot of ethanol plants here, and it requires a lot of corn to be grown here. So we're very friendly ethanol, and other sources of corn usage. There's over 4,000 uses, products made out of corn. A lot of livestock here in Iowa. Iowa's number one in a lot of livestock areas, too. So it takes a lot of corn to make Iowa grow.
Back to ethanol, it's a renewable fuel. It's cleaner, it's cheaper, it's homegrown. It's a clear choice at the pump. Unleaded 88 for your drive to and from the game. Quite a significant cost savings when you fuel up with unleaded 88.
I agree. It's cheaper, it's environmental friendly, and it's homegrown. But it's a product that we win on all three sides. Pump it up with 88 everybody needs to try that and get educated because it works on any vehicle, 2001 and newer. So it would fit just about in anybody's vehicle.
Ralph, more than 97% of Iowa's farms are family owned. And a desire to continue that legacy motivates our farmers to leave the land in a better place than they found it. Doing so requires the utmost care of our water and soil, and nobody's more conscious of that than the Iowa farmer.
Oh, I'd agree with that. We're all very aware of our water quality, and we're trying to do things all the time to make it a better water source. We're reducing fertilizer usage to grow more. We're doing conservation practices, cover crops. We're doing a lot of different things and making this thing work, but we are making some strides in improving our water quality and keeping our soil on the ground.
Ralph, tonight's game is part of the 13th year of the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series. My goodness, it's been around a long time. It's great competition between Iowa and Iowa State and the athletic departments, the academic achievements. This, of course, is Iowa's biggest in-state rivalry, and I know Iowa Corn loves to be a part of it.
Yeah. During the football game, we determined that over 70% of the Iowans returned into the game. So basketball, maybe we'll get some similar numbers, but that's quite a few Iowans that really appreciate and support this series.
By the way, for more information on the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series, go to iowacorn.org/Cyhawk and follow Iowa Corn on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Ralph, what's new technology-wise on the farm that helps benefit the production of Iowa corn?
We're doing a lot of work with GPS and everything. We're looking at our fields from up above, and you can pick out your spots that aren't yielding as well. So therefore, we're doing a variable rate when we fertilizer things. The good ground gets better rates. The lighter ground gets smaller rates. We get less runoff with that. Doing more conservation practices, and we're just trying to do a better job of controlling our ground and our water.
From your tailgate spread, meat, dairy, or eggs, you're supporting homegrown corn, that bag of chips, even those adult beverages are part of Iowa corn. When you visit a grocery store, you can find corn in more than 4,000 products.
It is amazing, but when you really get down and look at things, corn is everywhere, and it's in everything. We're doing a tremendous job of trying to find more uses for our corn products. We're doing some things with plastics right now. We're trying to get a real biodegradable plastic, so when you use it, it will degrade by itself in landfills. It won't be like those plastic grocery bags. And we're making some headway with that.
Iowa Corn Promotion Board President Ralph Lentz, who added yields this year are great, but the farmer needs a boost in price per bushel. Thank you to Ralph Lentz and Iowa Corn. It's been a great series, hasn't it, Jan?
Mm-hmm.
They've had support, and everybody gets up, especially, obviously, during the football season. But here you've got women's basketball at Carver on Wednesday, men on Thursday. It's tough on coaches, but a fun week.
Yeah, it is a fun week. I mean, when you grow up in this state, it's there's nothing like it, right? Everybody gets fired up, and even if you're a Bulldog fan or Panther fan, there's all eyes are on the two biggest universities going at it, and a lot of respect for Bill Finley and his staff. They've been doing it a long time. Bill's going to think I'm getting all choked up talking about it. He knows me better than that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, the Hawkeyes lead the all-time series 31-22. 8-2 the Hawkeyes are against Iowa State. You've had a few birthdays over there at Ames after victories.
We have.
Been pretty fun.
The players, they have been fun, and they're hard to come by, right? Any win over Iowa State, especially on their other team's floor, but even on your own floor. And I would love it if my team would give me a belated birthday present. I know they were trying, against Tennessee, but if they can come through on Wednesday, I'll call it good.
We're all for that, and the fans certainly will be ready on Wednesday night. This is a top 25 matchup, so it's more than just pride at stake. It's trying to get a top 25 victory for sure. When it comes to your health, you need the full picture, and that means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. You can learn more at uihc.org. As Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen continues, this is Hawk Talk presented by Oaknall from Learfield.
Did you know that UI ranks near the top of the EPA's Green Power Leaderboard with 84% of our energy coming from renewable sources? Now you can be a part of the team that makes it happen. The University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, with our partner, NG Iowa, is offering full-time positions in utility operations for our campus and hospital water, heating, steam, and distribution systems. Check out the jobs and apply at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you get an HMO network that includes over 32,000 providers. Plus, you get support from a company that's been serving Iowans for 85 years. Now, those are some impressive numbers, and that's health coverage you can feel confident in. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
I'm Y.A. Black, defensive line, Iowa. On the field, I take on double teams, stop the run, and sack the quarterback.
Sullivan now runs for his life, and he's obliterated by Y.A. Black. Here's the snap, the spot.
Yes,
and it's blocked it. Kick is blocked at the line of scrimmage. Don't touch the ball. Hawks get it back. Y.A. Black, God, man, what a momentum shift there.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Not all internet is created equal. It's a lot like choosing a quarterback. Technically, you could sign up any new rookie provider on the block, but the success of every device in your home depends on it. Will they perform in the clutch, or will they buffer under pressure? Extreme provides the speed you need with a 100% gigabit technology network and amplified Wi-Fi. And unlike signing a quarterback, Extreme Internet requires no contracts. There's only one pick to lead your team. It's Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
It'll be a festive month here at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville in anticipation for their annual breakfast with Santa coming up on the 14th of December, right around the corner. Their family-friendly holiday breakfast includes a photo with Santa and Mrs. Claus, a holiday craft, and everyone's favorite breakfast foods. You can grab your tickets from the Hyatt Regency here in Coralville on their Facebook page, or give them a call at 319-688-4028. Breakfast with Santa and Mrs. Claus coming up on the 14th, just a couple of days before our next show next Monday. 2 games in the Big Ten tonight. Ball State is at number 11 Ohio State, and Fresno State at number 5 USC, who is 8-1 with 8 Big Ten teams in the top 25.
No.
That's a bunch.
It is a bunch. It's
and 2, including number 1 and number 5.
Yeah, that's remember what I said about that competition ratcheting up?
Oh, yeah.
I got my eyes way down the road. It was tough on Saturday, going to be tougher on Wednesday, and it just tough at Michigan State, and Northern Iowa's playing great. So then when we take a little breather for Christmas, then we come into that. So, but I wouldn't want it any other way. It's fun to be in a conference that is as good and as respected as the Big Ten. So I'm happy for everybody, and I hope they all win like crazy until I play them.
That's exactly right. That's for sure. And Iowa State coming off a 82-56 victory over Central Michigan. Iowa State 8-2, losses at UNI, and got South Carolina coming off a loss, which is never good.
No, not at all. Not at all. But, I have utmost respect for, the job they have always done. We've had our battles way back when we were at Drake playing them and being here at Iowa. And they just have a really good team. I mean, they got most everybody back from last year. Yes, they got beat by South Carolina, but, people can look at it, get beat by Northern Iowa. Tanya's doing a phenomenal job. Yep. Tanya Warren. That team, the way how hard UNI is playing and how well they shoot the ball, they're good. So that loss there, and Bill said it, the women, we still play those, and it's really, really hard to play on the road, to play any of us on the road. So that was just a little stub of their toe, yes, but they got beat by a really good team. So they're coming in, they're deserving of their ranking, and they're great. Their center, Audie Crooks, recruited the heck out of her, love her and her family. One of the premier point guards in the country, Emily Ryan, floor general, to the T, a great kid. Addie Brown is just a versatile forward. She'll kill you from the three. She kills you from the post. So we're going to have our hands full. It should be a really, really fun matchup, and hopefully we're going to, keep bringing our D, and our shots will be firing.
Talk about Crooks averaging almost 20 points a game, and just kind of like seen with some of Iowa's outstanding centers, shoots a high percentage, almost 60%, but then you talk about Brown and Ryan, Sydney Harris averaging almost 7 points a game. So they've got other players that can hurt you as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're big three, who I mentioned. Emily Ryan, their guard, power forward Addie Brown, and Audie Crooks. They're great center. But every other player, man, if you think you're going to double or try to be tricky, they're going to make you pay. They're always a well-shooting three-point team. So the kids that start, the people that come off the bench, they're well-disciplined, they're well-coached, and it's anybody who competes against Iowa State, if you get them, it's well-earned. That's for sure.
Defensively, what do you expect out of them? They've done a good job holding a lot of their opponents under 60 points.
Well, they really have. They're just disciplined. I think they're really disciplined. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't gamble a lot. They know their assignments. Bill's always done a great job. He really does a really good job of playing the numbers. He's going to make people beat him that haven't shown that they can beat him. So he's going to give people shots that are going to look wide open, and he's going to play that. And the kids, like probably a Taylor McCabe, going to do what Tennessee did. She ain't going to see the light of day. So you have to have a lot of different people step up, because they're always very disciplined, and they know their assignments, and they have schemes that just make the people that are usually secondary, they have to become primary typically. And then your key ones, if whatever they get, it's going to come really hard. They might bring a double, they might put do some pressure or whatever. So you just have to really expect. You just have to be disciplined and take what they give you, and you got to have your kids step up.
And the other nice thing is with this series too, two fan bases that really support their teams. Whether we're in Ames, it's packed, sold out. Going to be like that again on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Tough on the road team.
Yeah, it is very much. But sometimes there's less pressure when you're on the road, honestly. If you ask both teams that, when you're at home, you have everybody rocking and rolling with you. So I've known in this series, it's hard to explain, but I think if you'd ask both, you want to be home, but there's an expectation just because you're home. And then you're coming in and you're like, well, we're on the road, it's going to be hard, and you play with this looseness. So both environments are hard. Both of them are fun. And I just feel so blessed to be at a university that supports us like we do. And I know the Hawkeye fans will need you. We'll need you screaming and yelling at all the appropriate times. And we're going to work our hardest to, get back on the winning track and get this one for everybody.
Certainly we know the stars, but sometimes it's a player that you don't account for that sometimes steps up in these rivalry games. You've seen that before.
It really is. It's the stars usually have to shine, but it's usually swung by one of those kids on either side that does a little bit more than you expect them to.
Then off to Michigan State, who's off to their best start in program history, coming off a victory against DePaul, 89-61. Blocked a school record 14 shots in that game, knocked down 13 threes. This is a team really on the rise this year, and now 17th in the country.
Yeah, I think they don't get talked about enough. They have a really great coach. He's in their second year, but they full court press, by the way. They do that really well. They have a heck of a power forward that I love. I think she's a COVID kid. They have good size, and you got to handle their pressure, and they score really well. They score fast. They score a lot of points. So I really respect them. Their coach, Robin Freilich, and I are, as friendly as you can be when you want to be people, right? But, yeah, I have a lot of respect. So we're going to get tested right off the bat for sure.
Well, Jan, let's go get the Cyclones on Wednesday.
Let's do it. And thank you for everybody that came and listened. God bless and go Hawks.
And stay tuned for Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey this week. Price Sanford will be his special guest here at the Hyatt Regency.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
People are having a hard time containing their excitement about the new Holiday Scratch and Instaplay tickets from the Iowa Lottery.
Holiday tickets? I love these!
Especially when they find out you can win part of over $1 million in second chance cash prizes when you enter any holiday ticket in the Iowa Lottery's VIP club.
$1 million? Woohoo!
Yes, woohoo indeed. Cash prizes are coming to town from the Iowa Lottery.
Woohoo!
See rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
Not all internet is created equal. It's a lot like choosing a quarterback. Technically, you could sign up any new rookie provider on the block, but the success of every device in your home depends on it. Will they perform in the clutch, or will they buffer under pressure? Extreme provides the speed you need with a 100% gigabit technology network and amplified Wi-Fi. And unlike signing a quarterback, Extreme Internet requires no contracts. There's only one pick to lead your team. It's Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides the direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this has been Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Also brought to you by 988. There is hope with a 988 lifeline. Call or text 988 for free, 24/7. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda. To see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.